Hi guys, I'm answering another of your mental health questions. This is a pretty good one. The question is about being confined against your will to a mental health institution. You ask, is this good for your mental health? It's a double-edged sword, I'm not gonna lie. Anytime that a person is forced to do something against their will, that can be traumatizing in and of itself. I talked to a client who had been forced into an inpatient mental health situation by her gynecologist. She had went in for her routine checkup, and they did all the, just questions. How are you doing? How's your mood? Have you been having any thoughts of harming yourself? And she answered honestly and said, yes, she had been real depressed, and she had had some thoughts like that. Because a doctor is normally not trained in how to properly assess someone for mental health, for a suicidal ideation, this doctor, in the name of trying to do the right thing and help her client, the client said the very next thing she knew, she was in a wheelchair and being wheeled over into the emergency room, and it went from there to her having to go inpatient against her will. And that was a very traumatizing event for her. It made her not trust doctors anymore. And she's in therapy now to work on the trauma of having been forced to go inpatient like that against her will. If that doctor had done due diligence, she would have referred her to a mental health professional, or you can even, what we do is we evaluate the level of risk that suicidality is bringing. So a lot of us have thoughts such as, I'd be better off dead, my family would be better off without me, I wish I could just go to sleep and not wake up. But that doesn't mean that they have an actual intent to harm themselves, and it doesn't mean that they have a plan in place. So when we're assessing someone that might be having some of those suicidal thoughts, we need to figure out, is there an intent and is there a plan? If we send them home right now, are they going to kill themselves? Do we feel that their life is at risk right now? And if the answer to that is no, then we're going to make sure that they get the therapy and the help that they need, but that doesn't warrant an inpatient stay, especially not against their will. We don't want to take away someone's right to self-determination. We don't want to force anyone to do anything against their will. That is a last resort, and it is done as a life-saving measure. The same as when children are taken into custody by Child Protective Services and put into a foster home. That is a traumatic experience. They need therapy and they need lots of help to get through the trauma of having been taken from their home. That is a last-ditch effort that a CPS worker is going to do for that child's safety. And it's only done when their health and safety is at risk, when the harm of being taken out of their home against their will is less than the harm of leaving them there. Does that make sense? So anything that a doctor or a therapist or someone in charge, anything that they do that is against the patient's will, that is not giving them a choice in the matter, is always a last-ditch effort, and it is for their safety. So, yeah, you can end up with some trauma that you need to work through from something like being forced to go inpatient when it wasn't your choice. That is a sad reality of the consequence that, that a decision like that can have in your life. But knowing that it was done in your best interest, and that at the time you were not thinking clearly, and that someone truly thought that you were at harm, or that someone else was at risk of being harmed because of your behavior, that's when they do it. But yes, it can be traumatizing. Now, if you voluntarily go in and it was your idea and you were in agreement with it, not so traumatizing then, but it's when you didn't have a say in the matter, when it was forced upon you. Alright, thanks for asking questions. Keep them coming, and thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.